Hello and welcome to CNBC Africa. You're watching Business 2010. On this episode of the show, we talk travel security with George Nickolls, the CEO of global risk consultancy Pasco Risk Management. Where was football invented, Britain or China? We find out. We take a look at the Football for Hope Festival, plus our resident 2010 analyst, Dr. Nick, fills us in on what's made press recently. For all that and more, stay tuned. In the run-up to the 2010 Soccer World Cup, one of the main issues being highlighted is that of security. Is South Africa ready, and what are the real dangers? How can corporates ensure the safety of their guests and the teams when the eyes of the world are on South Africa? In studio to spread some light on this issue, I have George Nickolls, the CEO of Pasco Risk Management. George, welcome to Business 2010.
Thanks, great to be here.
I think let's start right there. In terms of security measures being in place, where do we stand right now?
Well, South Africa's hosted over 140 major events since 1994, all successfully. This will be the third World Cup, soccer, rugby and cricket being the other ones we've hosted. And I think in terms of where we stand, there's a lot of preparation, and I think South Africa can feel really proud of the achievements they've made in terms of security for this event. From a private security standpoint, do you believe that we've made inroads into maybe development of security in South Africa? Have we got better from the last World Cups? I think there's a lot of lessons being learned. We had the Confederations Cup last year, which was a dry run for this World Cup. So certainly a lot of the lessons learned will be implemented, but unfortunately some of the stadiums yet to be tested under match conditions, and some of the security provisions of stadiums haven't been fully implemented. So I think there's a little bit more and a long way to go, but we've got 67 days before we get there. Have you looked at what happened in Germany 2006 and how they ran their security measures and brought it back home and implemented in maybe a South African way? Well, not specifically just for Germany, but in 2006 we did a benchmarking tour of European football clubs, including Wembley in the UK, Chelsea Football Club and others, where we looked at their security best practices at stadiums. And we brought them back and we implemented those at our shareholder stadium, the Royal Bafokeng Stadium in Rustenburg, which is one of the host stadiums for the World Cup. George, in your own opinion, who do you believe is more at danger if there were to be any security risks here for the World Cup? Would it be the fans or the teams? Because we've seen this idea of event terrorism on the increase, haven't we? Well, there's been reference to it following the Angola incident, but I think those are two separate issues, and it's not practical to conflate the two. When you're expecting 300,000 or 400,000 visitors to South Africa, that's far more number of visitors than the actual teams taking part. So given the resources of the South African state, you'd say there'd be more risk to travellers attending the event than the teams themselves. Specifically because teams have dedicated security and not everybody travelling will. What type of security does your organisation provide? Pasco provides a range of security services throughout Africa, the Middle East and the former Soviet Union. But specifically looking at this event, we've got a multi-tiered service, TravelSafe. The first one provides protective intelligence, which is information and alerts aimed to make sure you're prepared and have enough information before travelling. Safety, security and protection. We provide close protection to high net worth individuals, corporates, and as you know, we've been appointed as advisor to the England football team for the World Cup. And then finally we have a crisis response section which looks at all types of security crises, including kidnap for ransom, negotiation and response. Packaging that together, it means that we offer a comprehensive service for anybody attending any event or any function throughout Africa. Have you had some inquiries from some high-profile individuals coming here for the event? Well, during December last year, we were fortunate enough to work with David Beckham when he came out for the World Cup draw. And yes, we get a lot of requests from high-profile people, global corporations, and other people who want security advice or security services, whether it be for the World Cup or for other events in Africa. If we look at corporates coming to the event to watch a few of the games and enjoy the South African seaside and bush, what are some of the security measures that they should be aware of? Well, obviously, if you talk to foreign visitors, and we do spend a lot of time talking to foreign visitors, the first question on their lips is crime. And unfortunately, South Africa's got a very high rate of violent crime. But if you look at the incidences of violent crime and where they occur, and you're forewarned and have enough information, you can plan the risks and manage the risks appropriately. So what we tend to tell people is that you need to get good advice, you need to speak to people who understand the area or the country intimately, and then you need to assess the risks and plan those risks and provide security which is appropriate and proportionate to those risks. So you've seen a lot of media reports which I think exaggerate the risks, frankly, and I think we're on track to having a very safe and secure event.
Is there some sort of relationship between yourselves, a private entity, and the likes of the South African Police Services and Interpol who will be operating here?
Very much so. Anybody who provides private security has to work under the auspices of law enforcement, and in this case the South African Police Services. So whether you're advising a team, and in 2009 we were responsible for the safety and security of the Nelson Mandela Challenge between Norway and South Africa. So if you look at that, you have to work closely with them, you have to take direction from them, and you have to have a good relationship whereby you can share information and provide a world-class service.
George, we're seeing in the international press at the moment, there's a lot of talk about political instability in South Africa at the moment because of recent activities. What are your thoughts on that, and will that hinder this event in any way?
I think it's going to raise anxiety and tension about how safe and secure the event will be. And unfortunately, the press has focused on things which are important and probably could be managed differently. But I don't think it's going to derail the event. It's certainly not going to affect the safety and security of the event. But it will raise tensions prior to people travelling, unfortunately.
Right, George, we need to leave it there, but thanks a lot for joining us on Business 2010.
Thanks. Enjoy being here.
The look and feel of the ticket for the 2010 FIFA World Cup was recently unveiled, and we got the scoop. Plus, we got an update on ticket sales. Denim Ponce reports.